in child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection, okay? And that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This is someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. True. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fight With Me Fridays. I'm your host, Amanda Cisco. We don't have a guest today, but I am going to address some serious issues that a lot of us run into, especially while we're going through these cases. We tend to get involved in toxic relationships as a distraction from the pain that we are experiencing. So I will address that today. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up when my computer finishes updating. Of course, you have to do this right now. No thanks. Okay, so I'll be honest. Last night's show was kind of upsetting. I can't say specifics, but when a guest comes onto a show, okay, whether they're being honest or not, you're going to have vicarious trauma from that. I barely slept last night. I was so upset. Everything, hypothetically, that sometimes a guest might say could be false. But you still have to sit there. Like, say you're a news anchor and you're, politically speaking, on a certain side, of politics. You have a guest from an opposing side on your show. And they say some really hurtful and upsetting things. And you know that they're not being truthful. You still have to keep your composure, get through the interview. Give them the best defense possible that they would deserve. And that, in that situation, is what you have to do. So this morning, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to be real with you guys. This morning, person that I got into a relationship with a year and a half ago became my safe place, my world, my everything. I remember, like, the very first date we ever had, I canceled. I was triggered. It was a holiday. Holidays are difficult. So He texted me something. I canceled the plans. I was like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm just having a horrible day. Next thing you know, I opened my front door to take the trash out. And there's like this gift basket with some things in it. And I was like, I was touched. I was touched. But, you know, in retrospect, it was grooming. He was grooming me. I was so flattered that he cared that much to make me, you know, this special little gift basket. I called him right away. He came over and I collapsed into his arms and I ugly cried. Like I sobbed, I wailed. And in that moment, he didn't judge me. I was so horribly abused growing up. I never knew any safe place. I never had anyone. I had nothing and no one. And here he was, letting me cry into his arms. And I knew in that instant, in that moment, I love this person. I love this man, and I want to be with him. Things were amazing. It was a great relationship in the beginning for a few months. He threw my shit outside in my yard this morning. I don't know why. He didn't even give me a single word. This is how these abusers operate. I intercepted. I literally just had a friend leave. I stayed up all night intercepting my friend's suicide. I had no idea what he was planning. Yesterday, he comes over. You know, he calls me beforehand and says, hey, just want to come by and say hi. I'm in the neighborhood. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm grocery shopping. I'll let you know when I'm back. So here he is at my door. When I let him inside, and he told me what was really going on, he was like, dude, I want to die. Like, I want to die. I'm over this. I'm done. I want to see what the other side looks like. I've seen my life flash before my eyes 3 times. I've had 3 near-death experiences. So I gave him all of the life that I could speak into him at this point. But he was like, dude, if anybody knows what this feels like, you know. I can't tell my mom. I can't tell my friends. But I can't tell my kids. You know, I'm waiting till after my daughter's birthday. But I really just want to die. And I was like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. If you decide to end your life today, okay, and as any parent right now going through a CPS case, you have had moments where you legitimately want to end it. The pain is so overwhelming. Like you know, it's not uncommon, okay? And you're not a bad person if you feel this way. So I said, you know, according to my own experiences, if you end your life right now, you know, there are so many things that we don't understand. If you ended your life today, everything that you're going through right now, this grief, this pain, everything that the universe is trying to teach you, if you end that right now, do you not think that you're going to be right back in the same fucked up situation in your next life? If you're Christian and you believe, like, whatever, like, there was paganism, there were so many things before Christianity, and I'm not bashing it, but your knowledge is so limited, and they act like they know everything. Well, the Bible says, first of all, the Council of Constantine so highly edited and removed chapters from that Bible in their bullshit translation. Oh, got lost in translation. Your Bible that you bash on people is such a watered down version of the actual truth of the world that we live in. Maybe God is real. I don't know. I'm not talking about that today. But even in the Bible, you have to learn how to be able to interpret it. But there is nothing that suggests we are specifically and specially born into this one life and that's it. No, no. You're an eternal soul. You're an eternal being. You already and have always existed before you came here, and you still exist now. And if you choose to end your life on this mission, where whether it's God or the universe or whatever, you are here, and this is my theory, when you experience grief and pain in this life, it's not always because you're a bad person. It's because the universe is trying to teach you something that you need to learn on your soul's journey throughout eternity. You are growing. You don't just grow in this lifetime from a baby to an adult. Your soul has existed before you ever came here. You knew who you were as an adult soul in that child's body when you came into this world. When you grew, when you lost your first teeth, you know, you're growing inches, your growth spurts, you become an adult, like you go through your teenage years, like, you know, mortality is not easy. It's not easy. Not at all. Not by a long shot. Say you choose to end your life, this life that you're stuck in right now, experiencing all this pain. The universe is bringing things into your life that you need to learn. You are supposed to learn. And if you abort mission before the universe can finish teaching you what you need to learn and understand, do you not think that your next life is not going to be fucked up? You think you're not going to come right back here and experience more pain? You're not going to deal with the consequences of that? And this is coming from somebody who has been this close to leaving. One thing that helps me get through moments like that is remembering that how you feel right now is not permanent. It's not forever. You feel right now like you want to die. But that feeling is going to leave. That's not how you're going to feel until the end of time. Another thing that scares me, and I was up very late into the night last night, speaking life into my friend, and then my ex, you know, that transpired. We'll get into that in a moment. Something a person that I respect very much taught me. He taught me that when you feel like that, say you're struggling with the drug addiction, okay? You want to get blitzed. You want to go get, you know, an 8-ball and do some rails. Or you want to get drunk and find yourself at the bottom of a bottle. Or, you know, whatever fits what you'd like to do. Because you're in so much pain, we are so easily susceptible to addiction. Set a 15-minute timer. Set a 15-minute timer. Yes, you feel this way right now, but you're not going to feel like that in 15 minutes. Set a timer and distract yourself. Something about addiction that they say is you can't just abandon an addiction habit. You can't just abandon the habit. You have to replace it with something. So, you know, I talked about this on one of my other shows for Fight With Me Fridays. We all have a laundry list of to-do things around the house, paperwork, you know, check this email, you know, reach out to this person, like whatever, fill in the blank. There are so many things that we have to do that get put on the back burner all the time. Make a list, write out a detailed list of all the things that you need to do that keep getting pushed back and pushed back. Things around the house, spring cleaning, whatever, you name it. When you have an urge to engage in an addictive behavior, or you have an urge to self-harm, or you have an urge to commit suicide, consult your list. Set a 15-minute timer and consult that list. Pick something off of that list and go do it. Go do it. I promise you, and this is coming from somebody who knows this very well, okay? You will not feel that way in 15 minutes. You will end that timer and be like, oh, I'm like halfway through this mission of whatever I'm doing right now. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep it moving. You know, that is really important to remember. So I'm sorry, guys. Today's been an experience. The fact that my friend came to me and no one else, and this person is a beautiful soul. I love him to death. It hurts me. It hurts me to hear that the reason he came to me was because if anyone knows suicide, it's you. You're going to know exactly how I feel. So we talked about that last night. I gave him everything that I could. You know, he's absolutely against therapy, getting help. Oh, I don't want to talk to a therapist. Oh, this is bullshit. That's not real. Listen, if you cut your fucking arm off and you're bleeding out, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to go see a doctor. You're going to literally go see a doctor. If you're dying of cancer, you're going to get chemotherapy. You're going to get help. How is a cancer in your brain any different? How is an illness in the most important and complex muscle organ in your body any different than that? You break your fucking bone and your bones are shooting out of your arm. You're not going to tell me you're not going to go see a doctor. So when you have a mental illness that is making you feel the way you are feeling right now, like life just isn't worth living, like I'm tired of feeling my family, you know, just whatever fill in the blank that you feel like that makes you want to die. You are sick and you need help. Unfortunately, because of the negative connotation and the stigma that is associated with mental health, especially in Bible thumping ass United fucking States. Because of that connotation, people, and also this is a recent thing, that mental health is becoming something that we need to focus on. We live in a broken world. Our water is poisoned. Our food is poisoned. Our government is poisoned. The entertainment industry, everything. Like, we live in a broken world. The things you think you're eating an apple, bitch, you're not eating a fucking apple. You're eating the idea of an apple. There are zero nutrients in that apple. Unless you pay $10 for that apple, no. Are we surprised that when we feed ourselves broken things every day, are you surprised that inside we are broken as people? So that's one factor. Furthermore, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, just because you have a mental illness, first of all, it was probably something that you were born with. You were born with some wires crossed. That's not your fault. You're not a bad person. but you still need help. Also, a lot of times, these traumatic experiences that we're going through, especially if you're involved in a CPS case, PTSD, and we're still just scratching the surface, trying to understand the effects that traumas this deep really have on us. Like, there are people, and I can say this from experience, post-traumatic stress disorder causes extreme short-term memory loss. I've said before, if it doesn't make it into my schedule, it might as well not exist. If I don't write it down, I will not remember. I can't remember, like, there are so many things that I don't remember. Most people remember the first day of school, the first day they lost their tooth, you know, the first time they did X, Y, and Z. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember any of that. So, all that being considered, if you have a mental disease, a mental illness, whether it's from the trauma of your case that you're experiencing, or it's because you were born with things you had no control over, you need professional help. And so my friend said, oh, I don't need therapy. Oh, that's not real. Oh, they can't fix me. They don't know. I have seen many therapists in my lifetime, and I've had some rough experiences. You kind of have to date around with therapists. You kind of have to date around until you find the one that fits for you. The reason that I like my therapist so much, and I'm not going to say her name or where she's from, you know, confidentiality purposes, but I knew right away. And I was actually I was a little bit unsettled. I was like, okay, this is Wanda, you know, she's going to think, oh, here's this white bitch just complaining about her problems. When I talked to her, actually for the first time in my life, I was talking to someone who didn't make me feel crazy or broken because of what I'm dealing with. And I can't describe like the weight that was taken off of my shoulders. You know, I was able to be real and be honest. And I knew after talking to her that I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And I very much look forward to continuing that journey with her. But, you know, back to, you know, the mental health portion, I love my friend to death. I love him to pieces. But if you have cancer, you're going to go seek help. You're going to go to a doctor and do that chemotherapy, that radiation. You know, you want the cancer out of your body. Our brain is no different. It's no different. When you have a mental illness, as a living, complex organ in your body that is broken, it is sick, it is dysfunctional, it is diseased, and you need professional help to address and rectify that issue. You need medication sometimes. You need intensive therapy. It's not a bad thing. It's just we dumbass Americans who are literally the most lied to country in the fucking world. We're so dumb. We are so dumb. I'm going to say that right now. We are so dumb. I was not born here. I was born in Germany. We are so dumb. We're going to act like something as important as our fucking brain and its mental health doesn't matter. Oh, I can just think my way out of it. Okay. Let it slide. Let it slide for 10 more years. Bitch, you're going to commit suicide. You're going to blow your brains out. Not because you're a bad person or you gave up, but because you had a mental illness that you refused to address because of what other people would think about you. Oh, no. You have a responsibility as a human being to walk in the direction of peace and light. You have a responsibility to end these generational curses. We've been sleepwalking for generations. We have been so lied to. These fucking pieces of shit in our government have been doing so much fuck shit behind our backs. Literally, just, I'll save that for another show. We've been lied to and strung along and intentionally forced into a condition where we can't tell reality from fantasy. Like we can't differentiate that. They distract us with breads and circuses. Oh, the latest iPhone. Oh, this and that. Oh, this show. Oh, the NFL, the basketball. Study your history. Study your history. And you will see that they intentionally do this to distract us from what they're actually doing. You're stealing children at the border, not just in our country. Kids are disappearing at the border. And that's a coincidence? No. We generate $80 billion a year. Government-sanctioned trafficking our children through the foster care system. Oh, and it's just a coincidence? Oh, you're just a bad parent? No. You are in a crisis. This is life or death. And if you're a parent who truly did nothing wrong and you love your kids and they are your world, which I can fully relate to, especially if you're being accused of some unspeakable fucking shit, you're going to want to die. There are going to be moments where you legitimately want to die. So I'll circle that in to what I wanted to talk about, like I said in the beginning. If you're in a situation like this, say as a parent, male or female, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be a federal civil rights attorney. I don't care if you're male, female, both, like black, blue, purple, you're my client. I represent your rights. So, I will never speak on just one thing. Oh, well, I'm a woman, so only mothers feel this way. Oh no, like the pain is universal. There are mothers who sold their kids, there are fathers who blew their brains out because they couldn't bear another day without the children. So as a parent going through a case like this, if I'm trying to figure out how to word this. If you're experiencing a moment where you just can't go on, like I said before, set the 15-minute timer, distract yourself with something on your to-do list. But there are going to be moments where you do actually want to die. And it is so important to make sure that you have the support system that you need. Sometimes it's not your mom or your friend. Sometimes, and this should be all the time, it needs to be a licensed professional who specializes in exactly what you're going through. And just because you had one bad experience or two, okay, keep it moving. Keep it moving. The thing that I struggled with is the fact that, and they called me out on this several years ago. The first time I had a parenting capacity evaluation, they said, hey, there's no evidence that suggests that Miss Cisco would ever abuse her kids, let alone sexually. She has avoidance issues and triggers, but there's nothing that suggests she would ever hurt her children. She delights in watching her children grow. They're her life. However, the only thing that would affect Miss Cisco from being able to raise her children is the fact that she tends to get involved in unhealthy relationships, and she allows those relationships to derail her. She becomes involved in these toxic, codependent relationships. When I met my ex that just threw all of my cleaning supplies for my cleaning business out of my front yard 2 minutes before I went live, and I was like, oh, okay. You want me to chase you? Where am I supposed to chase you down the street? Oh, no. Oh, okay. You disrespect me? Bitch, don't come back to my house. Do not come back here. You got the wrong one. You got the wrong one. I've got my sister-in-law's mom staying with me, and I had a friend last night who I intercepted a suicide. When I realized, but the reason he really came over, I was like, hey, where are you sleeping tonight? Like, you're staying here. I will Uber you. Like, you're coming over. And I spent a lot of the night doing my best to speak life into him. How dare anybody come into my house, my safe place, that I worked so hard for, that I fought for. This is my work. Look, the paint on these walls, the decorations, everything you see, a 2,600 square foot house that I put together by myself. How dare you come into the only safe place that I have? Because at the end of the day, my kids are gone. I have nothing and no one. I have nothing and no one. How dare you come into my house and disrespect me? Nobody's forcing you to be here, motherfucker. Keep it moving. Kick rocks. And goodbye. Goodbye. So, as people who are going through these these highly traumatic experiences, like having your children ripped away from you, if you're not already in a relationship with somebody, if say you were married and your kids got ripped away from both of you, you guys are going to have some serious issues to iron out in your relationship, in your marriage. And it's just natural. It happens. But say you were alone when your kids got ripped away. You're going to subconsciously look for a distraction from that trauma, from that grief. And oftentimes that comes in the form of a relationship. It may seem so wonderful and healthy in the beginning. Like I remember reading that PCE about me and thinking to myself, oh, she doesn't know me. Like, what the fuck does she know? That's not true. Oh, 100%. 100%. That was true. She hit the nail on the head. That was 100% true. And I should have fucking known better. But also, we need to be kind to ourselves. Give ourselves a little bit of fucking leeway. Okay? When you fuck up, don't beat yourself down. Because damn it, there are enough people in this world right now, especially in our cases, already beating the fuck out of us. Why do we need to do it to ourselves? Give yourself some time to pick up the pieces, put it back together, cry for a little bit, keep it moving, okay? It's okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay, especially in a situation like this. So I thought this individual, my ex, fuck, I'm gonna cry. That day that I collapsed into his arms and ugly cried, I sobbed. 3 days into the relationship, I'm self-harming on my counter in front of you. Like, not for attention. Like, you just happened to walk in, but you stayed. But you stayed. You didn't have to stay. You didn't have to be here. You chose to stay. 2 years later, oh, and now, when shit hits the fan and I really need somebody, now you want to leave? After my friend finds you on a dating website. Okay. And then you lied to me about it. I low-key civilly confronted him about it. I was like, yo, what's up? Oh, it's old. You lied to me. It's whatever. Do you. You do you. You go absolutely do you. That is not my business. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Fuck whoever. Do whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not my business. But what is my business is you disrespecting me in my house that I built on my own 2 feet. During the time that when I needed somebody more than anything, when I needed someone the fucking most, you left me to fucking literally die. That is something that is not okay. You can hate me from a distance, say whatever, do whatever. But what you're not going to do is come into the place that I built for myself when I had no one, when I barely had the strength to even wake up. You will not come here and disrespect me like that. Absolutely not. So beware, guys. Beware of getting into a relationship. I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, like, this person was my world. He was my world. I am still mourning the loss of the man I thought he was. And I'm still mourning the loss of the future that I dreamed that we would have so desperately. Despite the fact that he was the very first person in my life, and I'm a grown-ass woman at this point, that allowed me to be myself vulnerably and authentically and ugly and messy. In the beginning, of course, not in the end. Oh no, that shit switched up real quick. That fucker was a narcissist. You will continue to invite those type of people into your life until you address the root issues of what is attracting those people to you in the first place. So beware of getting involved in a relationship when you are so vulnerable, like right now when you're going through a case. Because a lot of times these people that are attracted into your life are not who you think they are. They're not. They're not. And I told him last night, I was like, dude, the fucker sitting next to me right now is not the same person that I met 2 years ago. You are not the same person. I don't know who the fuck you are. And they don't like that. Like, when you're done, they hate it. And they'll try to make you upset. Don't feed into it. Don't feed into it. So we're about out of time for today. I am pretty exhausted from intercepting a suicide attempt. And my friend was hurting. He was hurting. But I hope that I helped him realize that sometimes when your emotions seem so overwhelming that you can't continue to live, it's because you are sick and you need help. If you have cancer, you go to a doctor and get help. Same goes for mental illness. Despite the negative stigma, which I really wish didn't exist, the cure is out there. You know, date around, hypothetically, date around, find a therapist that works for you, and that person will help you learn the coping skills that you need to get through those psychotic episodes, to get through whatever emotions you're experiencing, the trauma. There are so many types of therapy out there. So, I'll leave you guys with that. We're about out of time for tonight. I just want to make it very clear that those of us who are mentally sick are not bad people. We are not bad people. We simply need help. We need medicine. We need help. And that's not a bad thing. You're not a bad person. You had no control over the way you were born and what chemicals were in your brain. Like, you had some wires crossed. Okay. However, you have a responsibility to walk in the direction of light and peace. You have a responsibility to end those generational curses, to handle that trauma. You're an adult. You can't go on every day blaming, him, he, she, her, the third, this, that. No. I'm almost 30. Yeah, my childhood was fucked up. I'm still trying to work through that trauma. But it is my responsibility at this point in my life to take care of that shit. Let it go. Let it go. So I guess the takeaway for today is be mindful of getting into a relationship when you're going through something like this. Chances are The person that you are attracting into your life right now is not the fucking person you think they are. It will bring you more grief in the long run. You don't need somebody like that. It sucks to go through this alone. When I lay my head down to sleep at night, I'm constantly reminded how alone I am. That shit sucks. That shit sucks. But what sucks even more is that I let somebody into my life that I thought was my world, and they did nothing when I needed them the most but sit there and judge me, withdraw their affections, you name it. This person on the outside seemingly was a good person. I really thought, I was like, oh damn, I beat the shit. Like I'm not like a dysfunctional bitch who just attracts like fuckboys. Oh no, he's a good guy. I beat it. No. Oh no. He was covert. He was a covert motherfucking narcissist. Okay. Fuck that. How dare you, motherfucker, leave me for dead? Oh no. Oh no. Be very careful of getting involved in relationships during this horrible point in your life, because you're attracting people that you don't want around you. The person that somebody says they are or behaves like they are in the beginning is not who they really are. And you will find out the hard way. But guys, we have enough grief. We have enough anguish. We're going through enough already. Do we really want to compound on that trauma? Absolutely not. No, it sucks to be lonely. It sucks to be alone. I hate being so fucking alone. But it's worse to let somebody in your life that's going to hurt you even more than it is to learn how to survive being on your own. So that's what I have to say for today. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to join me on Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern time for CPS current events. And I hope I was able to help you guys tonight. So thank you.